Why were we positive? I started working in the diocese of the municipality as a volunteer missionary because I had previously been a seminarian. Sometime later, we went on a mission to another municipality. Several of us were traveling, but before arriving, the vehicle we were in, along with teachers, nurses, the priest, and the nuns, was hijacked. The paramilitaries took us. They forced us out of the vehicle and led us into the jungle. They told us they were going to take us away and verify some information. Those who had nothing to hide were released immediately. The paramilitary selected us because we had identification cards and we worked for the diocese. My partners and I were separated from the priest and the nuns. We walked through the jungle all afternoon, around 3 in the afternoon, in the mountainous area. At that moment, you are filled with fear and you also lose track of time. When we reached a certain point, they covered our heads with black bags. They tied us up and handed us over to someone who pulled us along. You can only feel yourself walking, with the jungle clinging to your whole body. I was in my early 20s. After 3 days, they took us to a stream to bathe. They made us undress, leaving only the bags on our heads. It was very difficult because you couldn't see who was around or how to get dressed. Then they gave us some kind of soup, but you don't feel hungry. With so much silence, you don't know what's happening. On the third day, 4 men arrived, but we never saw them because they didn't remove the bags from our heads. They spoke about us. Who are these? They're from the diocese, workers of Christ. A few hours passed, and then they began to insult us. They kicked us on the ground and interrogated us about the bishop, asking if he gave money. We didn't know anything, so they hit us on the head, saying we were lying. Then one of them said, "We're going to make these faggots talk." They grabbed us and started taking our clothes off. I could hear my partner screaming. After many beatings, they took a hold of me and started abusing me. You can't defend yourself. They never removed the bag from my head. They held us so tightly, taking turns, and did the same to my partners. You can't understand why something like this is happening. They carried out this kind of torture in the morning and afternoon, and it lasted for about 10 days. One of my partners screamed the most, begging to be released so he could fight them. At some point, I wanted to take the same stance, and we begged them to kill us. Why were they keeping us like that? What was going on? By the fifth day, we started screaming, hoping they would either kill us or do something. I remember that they grabbed me again. I beat one of them hard, hoping he would shoot me and finish everything. Because of that, those men were replaced. And then an older woman, an older man, and another guy arrived. They told us, "The priest is going to send money so that you can leave." We stayed there for about 2 more days, but they left us alone. I remember those people removed the bags from our heads and told us, "You are leaving." None of the three of us dared to look at each other. We didn't know what was happening or what to do. They said, "We will take you to a certain point, and from there, you go alone without looking back." We ended up at a convent of nuns in the east. We never spoke about what happened. I became very sick. I lost my speech. My body reacted that way. I didn't want to see anyone. I wanted to be alone. The light bothered me. We only told our families. We were kidnapped and that's it. Absolutely no one in my family knows what really happened, except for one person. It's something that you never overcome. I still have nightmares. Every night, I dream of something different related to what happened. I always dream that I am walking through a jungle. That's how it starts. They chase me, I try to escape, and then I'm tied up. Since the kidnapping, I haven't gone a single day without dreaming. I lost my home. I became someone who can't stand being touched. I loved my wife very much, but I changed completely, and she couldn't handle it. We were a very Catholic, very religious family. We went to church and all of that. And she was a woman I loved deeply. And I dare to say that I still love her. But after what happened, I wanted to be alone. So my wife left me. That was also very painful because she was the only thing I had. My father passed away recently. After the kidnapping, he looked for me constantly. He cried because he wanted to hug me. When I had nightmares, he was a very loving father, but I pushed him away. When I remember, I cry a lot because I never let my father hug me again. When someone tries to hug me, I feel disgusted. It's uncontrollable. My fear is never being the same again, and that people will find out. That my family, my friends, my children will know what happened to me. How will they see me? It's not easy for a man to talk about this or tell everyone. What will they think of you afterwards? That's why he dresses like that. That's why he walks like that. That's why he talks like that. I became so different that everyone rejected me, so I decided to isolate myself. I started living alone, and I still do. Maybe I help so many people so that they don't notice how emotionally empty I am. One question I ask myself every day is this: why did they do this to me? From the first day, they spoke with the price. They told us, we are paramilitaries, this is routine. Whoever tests positive is positive. Whoever tests negative can go. Why were we positive? I don't want to read or investigate anything about the life of one of the perpetrators. I only know what I hear. When I was involved in Justice and Peace, they told me how he was captured. I know he is a sexual predator, and maybe all the men under his command focused on that type of torture. The sexual violence they inflicted me targeted women, men, children, the elderly, everyone. But, as I say, I don't want to investigate this man because have you ever seen that TV show which is called A Thousand Ways to Die? Every night, I dream of a thousand ways to kill that degenerate. That's